Sorry, mate.
Hey,
Yep.
you'll be on our YouTube channel. You're our first guest on the YouTube channel.
Not
Do you want me on
second.
video then? I should have known.
We'll
We don't have
get
to
way
be.
more views if they can see your face. You'd be the prettiest person that's turned up in this room in a long time. Let me tell you.
Well,
The only
thank you
other
very
person
much,
that's turned
Tom. And just for that, I will switch on my video.
Yeah,
Oh God.
there's a few really remarkable things.
Right.
The first one is the launch event was way too PRE and didn't really look into what they've done. They were talking at one point. They were talking about, hey, you can change the colors and you can change the personality of.
They just demonstrated a system that could code literally anything within 5 minutes, and then here they are even mentioning the feature that you can change the colors in the ChatGPT interface. I'm like, that makes no sense, people.
Okay.
I know
They're doing prettiness.
It was really
Pretty
quite depressing.
stuff.
Yeah, well, I guess our suspicion is that internally there's been a long-standing conflict between, are we open, are we altruistic, are we the good guys? And they've been fighting about that for years now. And perhaps because they got raided for staff and they're trying to attract new talent in a very tight market, promoting themselves as the goody two shoes, like we help people who have cancer and we release models for free with their previous the release from last week. It could be one of their core recruiting drives so that they can stay in the game by attracting the type of high moraled AI researchers that they need.
Yeah, and they also the cadence of releasing the open source model, and then getting their new valuation, their next funding rounds, and they bump up to 500 billion, and then the day after they do 5. I think that had a lot to do with it, and the PR or the launch event felt like what they're trying to do is to recruit more people to the paid plan at the consumer level. And they didn't talk about the back end of it really, but looking overnight into the back end has actually improved substantially. But it's improved substantially in that hallucinations are apparently or evidently way down. So it's
Okay.
more. It's not going to just do weirdness. The attention span is way up. So in long running tasks, they kind of queries that
It
take.
doesn't lose its will to live.
Yeah, it doesn't go off in one and into weird spaces, which means you can get more complex answers out of it. But the coding seems to be really quite remarkable. It's probably
Remarkable.
the frontier. Yeah, it's probably a frontier
Remarkable.
model.
But
Better
the
than
tragic
Grok.
thing is, it's how we expect it to be. That's like,
Yeah.
till now, it had always been great, but not what I want. Like a little bit wrong, and now it's like it's just right, and it's a very ungrateful state we find ourselves in. We're like, about time. Okay, let's get to it. Because
From a consumer point of view,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, you're like the you're the kind of people that OpenAI probably wants on their books, but for a consumer who just uses it, what would be really nice is if they brought out a model that put together everything the other models do. So you're not going to
that's what this is. That's what this is. That's what this is. Yeah, that's what this is.
Yeah, single model.
So you can forget about everything else.
They removed it. Watch this.
Oh,
look at that. All the models are gone. They scrapped all the other models. There's only GPT-5.
And it feels graceful.
Okay, well in that case, I'm impressed.
Yeah, so it's.
So what's the difference between thinking and pro?
Well, thinking takes a long time, but normal will choose to think if it thinks that it needs to, but
okay.
Thinking always has, like, if you look at the benchmarks, thinking always scores remarkably higher. So I value quality and correctness more, and pro mode is like super thinking. Like it does like 10 different runs in parallel and then compares them and then does the next step in parallel. It takes bloody ages, but comes out really
Wow.
good.
No, but if you've got a project that you want doing, you can leave it running, go and do other things, come back and pick it up.
Yeah,
Which
that
is
gets a bit
still
tedious though.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the whole problem with the ecosystem. That's what we're trying to work towards being able to fix, is that like it stops working when I go to sleep. Like there's no job I can give it that takes all night. And that sucks. It should be running all day, every day, doing things for me
Yeah,
and
and
us.
that's
But
that's why the attention span is an important thing, because you can give it really hard problems with a really well crafted prompt, and it might take 30 minutes and so on. You can also chain them and have a reasonable. I've yet to test this, but a reasonable expectation it's going to come up, like the translation thing. But as a bit of fluff, you're going to love this. You can plug it into your Gmail and calendar now, and ask questions of your Gmail.
Oh, I
No, I
love
mean
you.
that is just complete consumer fluff, but
yeah, it's
Yeah, for the person who does the fluff, I just remind you, Mr. Maxwell, that I'm your fluff person. The kind of
the
thing
fluffer.
that keeps you on the straight and narrow.
That's not. It's not.
okay, moving on.
You shouldn't end up with that on your business card under any circumstance.
Yeah, but you know what he's calling fluff is the stuff that keeps him going.
So the probably the biggest thing of all is the economics of the model. The pricing here is just like basement bargain garage level cheap. So take for example 4.1, which was released a few months ago, is like, you know, almost twice the price. 03, which was our current workhorse, used to be a lot more expensive, had a drop about, 2 months ago down to that. 01 Pro, this was the mid-December model. Yeah, well, that was the one that was the first one when I was like, these models are smarter than me. This one will go down in my memory as like, that's when I was like, okay, it's time now.
We had a few accidents with that one with the cost.
Yeah, there's a few ran out of money and like, hey, who's got the credit card and where'd all the money go, and then all that. But yeah, so
you looked at it properly.
Yeah, and it was Maxwell doing multiple runs of something. But yeah, the point is very cheap, incredibly good, and it's not lazy, very well spoken, keeps going. Like look at the work it's done so far just to get this job done that I asked. Like it's browsed all these.
Just a simple.
Yeah. If you ask a hard question, it will work really hard for you. Whereas the other models favored stopping.
Yes.
Or truncating, or just losing the plot halfway through.
Yeah. So here's the graph that Maxwell asked for, which was mapping the releases of the live stream model releases to the valuation points of the company.
Valuation.
So you can see them landing like, one or two of them. I mean, they get a bit thick and heavy here, but yeah, I don't know if there's a correlation there or not, but it sort of feels like it.
Well, you can see the arc of it. Now, whether that is overhyped really comes down to at what point are we on the tech S-curve.
I think we're getting close to the plateau.
I reckon we're here. I reckon we're there. I reckon we hit that.
I think I don't know. This is a complete guess, but I think because they're using O3 in order to train 5.
Okay.
Now, if you use 5 to train the next one, there might be a breakthrough there.
But surely it's not going to be like it's still going to be
about valuation though.
It's good correlation to value, though. I mean, yeah, sure, there's hype. I mean, you just look at Tesla, but
it can't
you might make
forever.
it better, but at some point, people are going to run out of money and say,
yeah, it always caps out, right? But
enough.
I guess I was sort of, call me ludicrous, but I don't care one bit about the valuation. I care about the intelligence quality of the machine, and it really does feel like it's not. It doesn't get smarter forever. It gains.
I agree. I
You know.
agree. And when it does get smarter, it gets smarter by increments, improving
And that's
every little
that's really
bit.
that. Yeah, thank you for saying that. That's actually really what I've been trying to express about my relief today. Was like I was like, this is a monumental improvement in intelligence, but it's incremental. It's not a whole new thing like all the other ones have been.
Yeah, because you can't keep having whole new things.
Yeah, right.
It's at
Right.
some point. No, but at some point, there's got to be a whole new, really great thing, and the rest are all just things
Yeah,
that kind of
improvements.
might add to
Yeah,
it.
that's right,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
what
yeah,
it
yeah.
feels like. They've added bells and whistles, and they made it easier, and they've in some cases just made it exact. A lot of the benchmarks they've topped out on 100%. It's like, yeah, I can do that. I think it went up by what 2% on HLE. I think. Was it 2%?
No, it was pretty good. Went up
It went.
2% on Grok, but it went up about 12% on O3. But I guess how it feels is probably, like you could tell me it was the smartest thing ever, and I'm like, well, yeah, okay, let me use it, and then it just sort of feels like it does what I expect it to do. Like I am now at peace with this model. I'm like, that's what I want. I have the thing.
Yeah, Marla, I
Yes,
don't know.
and
Are you aware of HLE, Humanity's Last Exam?
no.
Humanity's last exam. All right. Well, so they came up with an exam that was like they're like, when AI scores 100% here, humans are done for in terms
Yeah,
of
we all
like,
retire to the beach.
yeah. But to be fair, I tried to sit the Humanity's last exam. I would honestly get 1 or 2%, and that would solely be from luck using the multi-choice questions. It's really hard.
So what it is
Really?
Yeah.
Multiple topics, hardest questions you could possibly imagine from
Hardest,
every topic.
that like ridiculously hard. So this is Humanity's last exam. GPT-5 Pro scores 42%. Previously, OpenAI's leading challenger.
Oh, I do know this. I just didn't
Yeah.
know it was Humanity's last exam. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I do remember this. Now that you've shown me the graph, it suddenly come to
Yeah.
me. But I tell you what, yeah, we won't be very happy if it was we didn't have anything to do. And what would you two guys do?
We will
You'd
always
probably
find
choke yourself
something.
with
We'll keep
boredom.
doing what we're doing.
No, there's
Yeah,
still
you just get bored.
there's probably more stuff left to do than has been done. Like there's a lot of things that we still have to do. We are in the lucky position of finding these tools inferior, and so like we need them.
Well,
Yeah.
to do what you need to do, and
Yeah.
that's the thing. And this is what I always say is, it will never get 100% in Humanity's last exam, and the reason for that is the one thing it can't do is provide those acts of magic that only humans can do.
Well, on that thing, I had a bit of I threw a bit of shade when we were watching the launch yesterday, because the presentations were so kind of
Over the top.
no, they were just
Yeah.
and I was thinking, is this this girl talking to us about this thing? Is she CG generated? And I was thinking maybe there's a new benchmark when OpenAI uses AI to announce its own upgrade.
And we don't notice, and that's the
No.
launch.
No.
Like it's
But
fully.
the problem was I watched the launch, and one of the things that really struck me, and you say plastic, I thought, how scripted is this? No one's genuine. There is no, no one's talking over each other.
It's just terrible.
Yeah. One of the things that we
marketing, whatever.
discovered talking over each other is actually a sign of engagement. And it was very scripted. There was no exciting faces. They all have that model. None of that.
We didn't even get to the
natural.
end of it. we kind of just
We quit.
burst out of
We were
Oh,
like, this
no.
is not our presentation. This is not the model I came for. But then turns out throughout the day, this thing was awesome. So here's some other really good features for us is the error rate. So hallucinations are down to like 0.7% or basically 1% and under, when
I
the
mean, that's
previous models were
Yeah,
like,
it's a,
4.5%. I mean, maybe that's why it was called GPT 4.5. But it's right. And, but yeah, so it's like a fantastically accurate model. It still makes some errors, but the errors are so low that
yeah,
doesn't
and
matter.
you could even run. It wouldn't be hard to run two threads, and if you combine that error margin between two threads, then you're going to get that down to by an order of magnitude.
Mm.
And then it's de
it's
minimis.
not, and actually, if you look at it, even without thinking, that's not bad
Yeah,
compared to the previous models.
and the speed's
But
very
if you're
good as well.
thinking,
The speed is excellent. Like
okay,
the rate that it produces them are good. So yeah, I mean that's the situation. I haven't felt a sense of relief since GPT-4 came out, and then I called up Maxwell and was like, dude, we got to move. And then that's when I came over and saw him, and we like rearranged everything we were doing, and now it's finally starting to feel like I wouldn't say we won, but I'm pretty sure we haven't lost definitively.
It's not doing anything that we're spending our time trying to do.
And we've been able to for whatever it's worth predict or call which direction things were going in, sort of around about a few months to 1 year out, which gives us good confidence that we at least on some level know what we're doing. Now, just because you can see the meteor approaching before you get wiped out might not help you, but
yeah, don't look up.
you're sort of in a better
you
position.
know what I
than
love
the
about you
dinosaurs.
guys is you're so self-effacing. Like we're doing something great. I know so much more about you, and know that that's just rubbish. Lots. As was evidenced by the glowing report we had yesterday from.
Hey, were you guys using that site I put up for like a serious demonstration? Is that what happened?
Yeah. That's where
You should tell me if you're gonna do that, because that was not a serious, that was a prototype, and I was like, oh, I'll just leave it, and I moved on to the next thing. Like it might have gone.
And it was, I had all the, it's like a half-built house with wires hanging down and none of the switches.
Half built's a compliment. I mean, it was basically a.
It still works.
I mean, I think to be fair, you're talking about the site that you sent
portal,
through to us.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. If you're going to make that better, that's fabulous. But love it. Better than anything else we're doing. I've got my assistants up. Yeah. But I absolutely think that's fabulous. I mean, like I said, the one thing that bothers me about it is, which model should I use for what?
Yeah.
And just being able to go into something and go, right, I'm just going to ask my questions and not wonder about which model. The best model will come up. And so from a consumer point of view, it'd be like, okay, this is the task I want.
Actually, that's a really good point. We should probably add the feature, like, so OpenAI's got this thing where now GPT-5 chooses for you, but we should also choose amongst like Grok 4, Claude Opus, and it's like does the same thing where it just sort of figures out which model is best for you.
Like,
but
you're looking to write a birthday card.
But we could also like run each model independently in the background, and then we'll choose the best outcome as well. So you got like
well, that's effectively for this demo what I was doing by hand, which was running on each of the available models and then taking those models in and then getting multiple models to decide amongst themselves which was the best output from the previous multiple model. So I don't know what our token burn is. Sorry, but
well, mate, no, I never got any alerts or anything. Like I tell you, these models, they're cheap now, like the real cheap.
Yeah.
So for me, that would be really good.
Sorry.
Yeah. So for the small bits that I'm doing, what I did was asked because I heard from Malcolm that Grok 4 was really good, and it gave me, for the task I was doing, it was just completely wrong. Yeah, it was just
Oh, what was the task?
too much information.
Oh, right.
It was a strategy. It was a strategy document for
that
for
document.
the company.
Yeah.
So it was a strategy document, and it just came up with something that I could not present to a client.
Right,
Look,
so
I'm
that's probably
lazy.
a great place where the auto stuck detection would have kicked in. So
Yeah.
that should have been like, it should have looked at it, and maybe we need a hint for Marla to be like, I didn't like that, like a thumbs down. But at the very least, we should have been able to work out why was it bad, and even just a handful of statements for Marla being like, oh well, yeah, blah blah blah, and then it can automatically,
Okay, well, that's pretty good.
it can like patch itself and be like, oh, that's easy to fix. Because I mean, I know how to fix that easily, but I also know that we can make a bot that could have fixed that for you easily when you were in it, because
that's
it can
good.
like
Okay.
it can recode itself. Like another model can look down on what the response was, what your complaint was, and it can reconfigure the assistant to do better.
Okay, so I didn't do that. What I just said is I went to ChatGPT 4 and then said, look at the thread and give me your take on it, basically. Better words than that,
Right,
but basically
right,
asked it to give its take. And I got a much better response.
right.
And in that, this is supposed to be a forward-facing client strategy document. I know what we're doing. I just want all our conversations, all our paperwork together, which is what isn't AI supposed to do, is dump it all in and kind of just pick up the information and give me what we said. And it did it very well, and it took our tone really well. But what I wanted to convey was I've had a lot of conversations where it's been a lot about emotional intelligence, which is not kind of something that is an AI thing, but it's very, very important in this case because the client will go a little bit awry if we don't have the emotional intelligence right. So the language has to be correct.
GPT-5 scores very highly in EQ testing, so it is much more tonable or shapeable for the right type of EQ prompt that you want to get out of it. Like you can talk to it about different tastes and styles. So I could even, for example, I could say list all the EQ tones you are capable of, and then you can ask it to use that particular type of intelligence on its answers.
Yeah, so because a lot of the conversations that I put in, the transcripts I put in, were about handling the situation in a positive way and making sure that we ask questions in a certain way. And I have to give ChatGPT 4, it got it. Grok gave me a McKinsey style document.
Grok's a nerd. Grok's a nerd. Grok is not the person you bring to a first date.
Grok is a bit of a dick, but
it's brainy. It's
well,
brainy.
What was it that Saatchi said? Grok's says Grok's grumpy.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. It walks away.
It was trained to do that. It was trained to be brutally factual and to not have any of the softness, political correctness, or polish that the OpenAI people put on it.
Well, no, and then she said
like
that
the snarky one there, lightly snarky. I think
snarky, deadpan. Oh, that's you, buddy. Right there.
Deadpan, yes. And calm, matter of fact, is probably you, isn't it, Tom?
Me. Oh, I've been in crisis mode for so long. It's just everything's an emergency.
No, lightly snarky, dry humor, non-toxic.
Not toxic.
Yeah, that's me.
Toxic.
Like, so which one am I?
Naturally sourced. I mean, yeah.
Oh well.
But yeah, I mean,
to tell me which one I am. But yeah, Saatchi also said Claude
De-escalating.
Sonnet is, yeah, it's very philosophical, and just it's trying so hard to please that just doesn't want to not give you an answer.
I know,
So
yeah.
he'd rather get it wrong.
Yeah, I know.
And I
It
just
doesn't respect your time as well.
Yeah.
In my view.
So that's
It's like,
sycophant behavior.
yeah.
That was a big problem. No, that caused a huge uproar. Like the OpenAI had to roll back a model because it scored too highly in the sycophant area, and it was like, oh man, that was quite embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
So all of these types of EQ type of tests, they're in there as well. Like that's a big part of the model. Like there are now EQ aware voice models, so they can sort of detect what tone, or they analyze what types of tone the speaker is using, and they can speak back with a bit more of the intonation that language consists of.
I like the supportive, reassuring. Gonna need a lot of that, and encouraging, motivational. God.
Well, supportive
Yeah, this
reassuring
next
is
month.
not what you want when your ship is sinking, right?
Yeah, there's one here that we've found very 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 negative is Scottish. So if you ask it to be like that, it's like it's just down on everything, which
Yeah, because it's
Which is
never going to
not
work.
you, Malcolm.
It's never going to work.
Malcolm,
No,
you're
no, no.
never done. Yeah.
what? Malcolm is not. He is not the guy you come to for encouragement. That's for sure. Like if something goes bad, don't call him. You're like, mate, make me feel better. He's like, well, it could have been worse, and then he'll tell you how. And then,
It's no bad. It's no bad.
I have to say, I have to disagree with you there, Tom, because he has the ability. Close your ears, Malcolm. I'm making me feel better all the time. So he is my biggest cheerleader. So I don't really hear anything anti against him. So there we go. Even in his very dour Scottish way.
dour. That's the word. Dour.
Well, the thing is, it's like optimistically pessimistic. That's the.
Yes,
That's
you
the way
love
it's
that.
like-
You love that.
Poptimistic.
Stoic.
Poptimistic.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Poptimistic. Right?
Yeah, optimistic. Yeah, optimistic. So yes, that sounds really good. Is this available on Dreamcatcher?
No, because I mean, I didn't realize. If you tell me it's important to put it up there, then I can. But what I was currently thinking was important. So what I'm trying to do is to get a platform up where agents can make other agents. So that's like a back end to the thing you're looking at. I can take a look at it tomorrow. If it's within half an hour to do, then I'll chuck it up there. But I kind of, again, unless you guys tell me, you got some important people on the line there.
No,
I think
it's for me. It's
Stay on task.
no, you
you
stay
can
on
get
task.
to-
It's for me.
All right.
You
It's
can
for
get
me,
to
and I'll tell you why it's for me.
Uh,
How can I get to 5? Sorry, I said.
it's on
Well,
the
if I
public
say
release.
okay, so I can just get 5 like that.
Yeah.
It's throttled. I'm not sure how it's throttled, but
No, it's Yeah, you give it a go. See if you hit a throttle limit. There's a great chance that you won't. Keep in mind, like, it is the only model now. So if you're on a plus plan, this is all you got. They're not going to throttle you because you're on plus. Like, or you won't have. Like, you won't have 5 Pro. But honestly, I mean, I don't use it Pro that much. I only use it when I'm desperate.
yeah. And,
Well, I have to. Let me just have a look then, because I'm here, so I might as well look.
well, actually,
I've still
'cause,
got no. Mine still says Chat GPT-4. Other models. What are the other models now? But I'm on the premium model. I'm not on the Plus model.
Yeah, and
So
you should
that's
have
why
it. Have you refreshed the page?
Okay.
Have you refreshed the page today?
Yeah. I've opened it. I've just opened it. I've
Reopened
actually
it, like
just
reloaded
opened
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me close all the chat. Ooh. That was me watching the open. Okay, let's start again. There we go. ChatGPT. Let's see. No, but I'm on the premium plan, not the plus
Yeah,
plan.
it's
So
rolling
that
out to you. It should make it there within the next day.
Yeah.
But they have 700 million monthly users. These guys, so it's not instant.
Well,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
No, the thing that interested me was getting all the emails and Gmails all together and then putting that in, because I've been waiting for this for a while, and Malcolm's been telling me for like about a year. It's coming. It's coming.
It's been there for ages. It's
You're-
been there for about 2.5 months. Like you just go.
No.
What?
No.
This one?
I mean, the things that I need, that kind of thing for my CRM stuff,
So,
you know.
Yeah, it's basically CRM. Basically
Oh,
CRM.
okay.
So
All right.
link it, emails, calendar, and the repo, together. Basically, it's a CRM.
Right. So, I mean,
Yeah.
is there on this recording? Can you guys
I
tell
can
me
wait.
what's happening with the latest round of stuff that you're doing, or would you rather it be off recording and we can move on to a different topic?
The hopper.
Um, but I think probably needs to be off recording
Off
for
recording,
that
okay.
because a lot of it is quite sensitive.
All right. So, is there a summary you can give me about what the I guess even this? Yeah. Okay. Okay.
No, the
That's good.
summary is
There's
basically
themes.
we,
There's themes, isn't there?
yes.
So, there.
Yeah,
there
themes.
is-
Because like my buddy with his contacts in Zanzibar was like, you need to give me a blurb what you're doing. Now I could tell him what I think I'm doing, but that's probably different or at least nuanced compared to what you guys are doing. So I didn't want to mess that up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can give you that spiel. Is that
Yeah.
I give it to everybody in a very in a way that is generic about what we're doing. So
Right.
what we're doing is basically helping businesses um, create an infrastructure behind their business that will allow them to do everything without deciding which model and not have products. So we work for them. We go into their businesses, look at what their problems are, and then try and solve the problems in order of priority for them, but also in how easy, difficult it is for us. So, but the intention is that AI becomes an integral part of their business, not something they go to on the side. Because most businesses, even with things like Copilot, what's happening is Copilot is pretty bloody useless, and most businesses I know have stopped using it. But we've got this wonderful tool here, which people think they can go and buy a product and just make it work for whatever little bit it is.
Yeah, it
But
needs to
fits
replace
separate to
everything.
the way that, yes, and that's what we're trying to do.
But
We're
it
trying to
also
go in and
needs to replace the way that people engage in the business and with the business too. So there is a spectrum, I believe, of how deep you can cut, but not to be too dour, but it feels like from my own personal experiences in cutting in businesses, no business I know of will make the sacrifices required to optimally use AI, and so it's better to start from the bottom.
No, what you're very, very right there. They won't do that. But if you can start getting certain things right. Okay, so take me as a user case. Yes, I'm working in AI, but actually I'm the front facing of the business. I run the business of AI. I don't do the AI bit. I leave that clever bit to Malcolm. But for me, I need my emails. I need my threads from my conversations. I need the documents. I am one of those people who is not completely detail driven. I don't file things.
You shouldn't have to. I think that's just
Yeah, exactly. And so what we want is that when we're recording a call, it goes straight into the transcript the video goes straight into for want of a better word, our CRM. Okay. My emails, what I want to be able to do is just say to a little thing like this, and maybe even talk to it and say, what emails have come through and what haven't I done? Can you just search where we were with this client? How we getting on with this? Having emails from certain clients automatically kind of go into the folder for them. So if I'm talking about a client, it can pull the whole thing up. It doesn't have to change the emails, but it gathers all the information in one
So
place.
is it safe to say that you would expect the system to have in the background ground a way to produce a sort of a fact file or a dossier on each individual, so that it's not just on the hop piecing together bits of email. It's actually gone through meticulously and what's the word for that? Like actively created, forensically created information, so that when you ask questions, it's drawing on a pre-distilled, pre-compacted, correct type of a, like it's done like, 2 hours worth of reasoning, and it's just able to give you instant answers on it.
Yes, but get the tone, like I said, the EQ tone right for each client, because each client will have a different EQ, but actually understand that that this is what it is, but also keep me accountable. It's like, you haven't done this. You haven't done that.
Yeah, but I mean, it should really, if you haven't done it, it should attempt it itself and then be like, you haven't done this, I had a go, here's a starter. Where are you stuck?
Yeah.
Like, what's stopping you from doing this? Do you want to just push send, or help me out? Give me some more rules. Tell me what's wrong. Why is this hard?
I hadn't even gone that far, but yeah, that would be lovely. Thank you very much, Tom. But in a real user situation, that's what
right. And so you'd want
that's what most businesses want.
You'd want it to have done some psychological profiling and analysis on each person to say, well, first of all, this is what I think their archetype is, and this is how they would respond best. And it could call you out on things you'd said and be like, that might have been abrasive, that might have been abrasive. They're from this part of the world, so don't talk about that topic. And then also figure out things like, when are emails arriving? When do you get responses? And be like, probably your best bet is to send this on Tuesday at 11 o'clock.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, you could
that's
do
really
email
nice.
to devs
And
as
the
well.
thing,
yeah,
and the other thing that Malcolm always asks the AI is, if we have a conversation, and this would be, I mean, it's doing it kind of automatically, but we have like the meeting notes bot, which we can send over. But what didn't we ask, or what questions were asked and not answered, and what did we miss? Was there something that we missed in this conversation that we shouldn't have missed, or we could have asked more questions about, found out more, and things like that. If we had that, and I was just talking to the, like, you've got the little keyboard there, and I would just put the sound bar on and just talk to it, and it gave me an answer. Wow. I mean, life, what I spend hours putting into it, if it did it automatically, and then I could just get there. I'm great as an editor. I don't want to sit there doing all the stuff. And quite honestly, having AI has really helped with that, because editing has been easy, but actually sitting there and writing these reports on reports has been difficult.
Yeah, so basically every time you put in some novel information or correct it or change something, you should never have to do that twice. Like a properly functioning system, it's an easy signal for us to look at what you're doing and be like, hey, we got called up for the same problem, for the same fault in 2 different times. That should, first of all, let's not make it a third. But second of all, how did we not pick it up in a way that allowed the second error to creep through? So the idea is to make a machine that through pretty logical steps that are just like background processing, it's able to get closer and closer to the ideal, which is you never repeat stuff. If you told it once, you can't get away from having to tell it some stuff, at least the first time, but you should never have to do it again. And that's what we see as the error with these existing systems, is they don't properly contemplate all the knowledge that I've put in, and they kind of
Just you're probably giving it really big knowledge, okay? But for me, it's like a simple little thing. Even in ChatGPT, I did this a strategy assistant within Dreamcatcher. And one of the prompts I put in when its role was, you must use UK English and spelling. And the number of times it comes back with American spelling, and it's like, you must.
Are you putting
I mean,
that
I
into
put
the
it in
sys prompts?
capitals. Yes. And it's still coming back with American
yeah.
spelling.
So part
And
of the
that shouldn't be happening.
yeah, I know, but those are what's the way to explain it? The models are condensing, or they're stabilizing. That means that what's left is how we assemble them. So that what you described there is an example where you don't get good results if you try and get the model to do all the rules at the same time as being creative. So the way I would approach that problem is you get it to do it in whatever English it wants. Maybe it doesn't want to use English. Maybe it's better in Cantonese. I don't know. But then you have a second pass that forms it into what you wanted. So it's like there's a doing layer, and then there's a presentation layer that runs over the top.
Oh,
right?
Okay, well that I can do. Then I won't get frustrated.
Yeah.
If I just say, okay, do the doing,
Treat them separate.
and then
Treat them
make it
separate.
look good.
It's everyone wants
it's a
it to
bit
do
like
it all at once. Everyone wants it to consider all
Yeah.
the rules they gave it all at once, but in under the hood, practically, that's not possible, and no human could do that for you either. A human would go step by step through each of the rules and be like, this one, oh, rule number 25.3 UK English. Oh shit, and it would. That's easy for the bots to do, right? And that's the machinery that I'm trying to get up in the background, is this, because all those bots you've been using right now, they're just still the facade bots, like the as you see them, that there's no bot in the background being like, okay, we need 25 parallel bots, one bot for each rule. Everyone apply their rule, rework the flop
No,
for
that's
the first
fine.
thing.
That's fine, because what for me it's kind of easy to explain is you put your words in Word and then you do your PowerPoint slide. So it's kind of the same thing, just right. That's fabulous. You've done the bulk work. Then now we'll create the slide. Go ahead and do the slide. So
like
I can
post-processing.
figure out. So I can do. Yeah. So that's fine.
I would highlight that as a really important thing to make sure you get what we're saying there. Long-running background process AI agents, as opposed to what you're seeing at the moment when you talk to a thread. You're just there in the moment. But what we're talking about
So
is
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So the ideal is, sorry, I'm talking over you, but I just got excited. Yeah. So the idea is that we build a system that has these bots that are looking at each rule at the back and going, hey, said that, we need to do that, we need to do that. And then we'll collect it all at the end and just give them fabulous end product.
Yes, not quite though. They'll give you the first one that they come up with in terms of time, and then they'll keep refining it so that if you give it enough time, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, it'll come back with the fabulous product at the end that incorporates all the times you ever ticked off the bot, told it off, or gave it a rule. But further to that, our system that we're trying to get going here will be trying to create its own rules as it goes so that you don't have to explicitly declare these rules. It tries to infer them.
Fabulous. But then, to be honest, Tom, if it only takes 10 minutes, I'm still delighted, because it would take me half a day.
I know. But the better thing that we got to all be looking forwards to is that we should be expecting the system to have taken these actions before I turn up. Like, it should have been able to, most of my day, it should have been able to work out what I needed and what I was going to do, and it should have done the bulk of the labor for me, because all that information is available. If it was busy thinking overnight when the tokens are half price, it should have been grinding for like $50 worth of tokens and being like, this is what I came up with. It couldn't be
Well,
worse,
that reminds.
right?
Yes, yes. I mean, I had a wonderful PA many years ago, and I would walk into work, and she'd go, "Okay," and I wouldn't get past her desk. She'd make me stop there, and she'd go, "I need an answer for this now. I need an answer for this by 11 o'clock, and I need an answer for this by the end of the day. You need to sign this, you need to do this, and you need to do this." And this was like first thing in the morning.
Mm.
Reminds me of a
You
conversation
need,
yesterday about the missing part in the business strategy we were talking about. What was missing? It's the
yes,
PA.
yes,
Yeah,
the PA.
usually,
So her name was,
usually.
I was Marla, she was Marley, but we made a fabulous team. Fabulous team. Marley was one of the best people I've ever employed, but it was, the moment she left, I missed her because there was no one to say, I'd walk in going, expecting somebody to say, "Oh, you've got to get this done by today." And yes, this is what this should be doing, shouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Going, "Hey,
yeah,
I've thought about it overnight. You should be doing, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this." And that should just blare out as soon as you
right.
open your screen.
So it would
Very
appear to us that we know where we're gonna touch ground now, and the point that we want to touch ground is that the AI is the person that makes the decisions. Now, I know that that's not appropriate for the majority of existing companies, but the reason why we want to land in that spot is because of the change in the crypto laws in the US. Because
Okay.
they
I've
have
not gone over those.
No, tell
right.
me.
Let me just how much time have you got, Marla?
I have to leave at 11:30.
Okay,
It is
I,
now 10 to 11. So
right.
you've got
38 minutes, yeah.
yeah.
Thank you, human calculator. I was right. So this is what one of the new features that wasn't really mentioned in the GPT-5 launch is that it can now pull in pieces of pre-made widget or code, which is something that we've been working on for a while, just because we knew that that's where it was all going, and we wanted to make sure that we had that under wraps. I don't think we're sad about it. We're glad that we called it ahead of time, and now all the stuff is here, and now they're going to make it really easy for us. But what's important about the crypto laws is that you used to have, like, you got, oh dear, I should learn my lesson and not try to draw in VR.
The crayon thing again.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so you got, that's meant to be Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum is considered decentralized. It is therefore not a security and able to be traded.
Yep.
Right? Then you've got, like, on this side of the fence is like not securities, not commodities, not anything like that, just all the other stuff, regular business, corporate rules apply. But here you've got I'm not going to try and draw it, but this is the SEC dead zone, where if the SEC has been very gray for many years, since 2015, about, if you're here, if you're a brand new blockchain, you're just starting out, you are not decentralized because you don't have any users yet. And then you go to make like 10 users and suddenly you're a security and these guys come and zap you. And so that creates this kill box or this kill zone between no blockchain and big blockchain, and you can't cross that chasm. There's been very few brand new non-security based blockchains that have launched since that chasm opened. But these new laws in the States have, if I'm not mistaken, given a bright line test that defines exactly where decentralized begins and ends. and it's much, much closer to the start line than this line. And we think that we can attain that decentralization. What we also think is that we can run frontier grade models in a decentralized fashion where those frontier models are good enough to make conservative business decisions. If we can do that, then we can prove that these businesses are running as decentralized concerns, and we can attract public company money.
Okay.
So the benefit of that is all these ICOs, token raisers, meme coins, and all that are all taking advantage of the playing dangerously within the kill zone. But you should see the amount of money that flows through them. Most of them are scams. They end up nowhere. It's a horrific mess. But we think we can turn up here with legitimate businesses that are AI controlled, so they've already got a leg up on the existing average business. Not to be too rude about it, but humans suck, and it's able to trade its equity as though it was publicly listed, raise capital, and trade it with extremely low friction, because it can trade for these stable coins that were also passed into law and given institutional position. So there's basically no to list on even the Toronto Stock Exchange, the Venture Exchange, is like, it's a $300,000 exercise just to get listed, and it
is expensive.
Good luck. Yeah, and it's an ongoing pain in your ass. But here we could do it for literally about $20, and then you can raise capital from the general public, and you can trade your equity as you go around and do things like acquire businesses or whatever. So that's where we are coming down.
That's amazing. It just opens a lot of doors, doesn't it?
Huge doors.
So we talk about the vehicle, the Dreamcatcher vehicle, which includes project-based AI governance.
What's do you want to do that?
So, in terms of, we need what I call an earthing event, which is where does the digital world meet the real world in terms of legal rights and so on, and we're looking at that. And in fact, that's my job for this weekend. There are various vessels that can be spun up, and those vessels then allow projects to be based or to be spun up using what Tom's just described in terms of green finance and governance. But the important thing is with the law change, which when was it? 3 weeks ago?
End of July,
happened in the US. It would allow,
yeah, I remember hearing about it. Didn't just read it.
Yeah, it's worth a read, actually. It's quite impactful, and one of the best things that Trump's ever done. The vessel can then spin up an AI governance system that is SEC compliant, that allows money to come in order to create a project. So it's like a mothership.
Yeah, so we can basically, there's company structures in the US. The ones I like right now are Wyoming and Delaware, that can let you, and Texas was like the third choice, that will let you set up a series.
Texas?
Yeah, Texas, because you can set up a series where the company can make an arbitrary number of liability isolated series companies for a range of different prices. Like in Wyoming, it's like $10 per registration of the series holder. Delaware is free, and Texas, I think, is like, I don't know, $50 or whatever. So you can basically have a sign-in portal where someone can come in and be like, here's my company, this is what I want. The bots help them draft up the crucial bits that they need, and then they pay the $10 and they go. And now it's a decentralized, controlled, governed entity, and its touchdown or its interaction with the traditional world is through a series LLC that gives it limited liability. And the crucial thing is, because we're producing the bots that govern these things, we of course can be confident to some degree that it's not going to do anything that's going to make the parent company liable. And so we're able to, like, to make a bot that can govern a decentralized company in a wholesome way that makes it appealing to both investors and workers, is the same as making sure that it doesn't have liability or bring disrepute to the parent company. So the same bot solves both problems. And so we think
that's what, if it's running a company well, then those are a given.
Yeah. So we think that we can offer these to have a legal entity for like $10, and then a decentralized equity structure so that people can buy in and out on using Ethereum or stablecoin or whatever for, like, 10 cents worth of transaction fees. Good luck getting that kind of deal out of a stock exchange. That's what we think is within reach for us.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And then that leads on to that's the enabler for attribution. So what we want.
Yeah. So I guess I started thinking about attribution as being like, we have taken all this time, these years, to write our company policy document and our company share split, and the options package, the share split, and the remuneration rules of the company. It just so happens that we needed them to be AI powered, and so in that light, all that the attribution agent, which comes attached to each company, all it's doing is just defining what all the different constituent components get on the fly using state-of-the-art reasoning in fully transparently out in the open, so that there's no one sort of, behind closed doors type of thing. And that's how you get paid. And you don't need to worry about setting up these dorky cap tables and share splits and things.
Yeah. Well, I love that for more than one reason. But how are we moving forward? What's the next steps, and how can I help?
That's a great question. I don't know exactly what the answer is.
I think I know. We keep on doing what we're doing because we're very, very close to getting a system up, especially with the drop and the drop in hallucinations. That's very important,
right? Because I'm stuck at the moment. Like I'm a little bit stuck on an interface change for our platform, because we realized that
nobody cares about that bit.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Yeah, so like, how could I go faster? Well, since GPT-5 arrived today, I've made good progress on it. So I'm sure that with the new model's help, I will conquer it. How can we go faster? And how can you help, or how can anyone else help?
Well, sorry, I was a bit flippant there. It is quite a major task, and I think I mentioned MCP servers. I think I mentioned that. I'm not sure if I did it.
Vaguely.
Yeah, so I guess that's become very clear that's the protocol of AI agents now, and it's like when the email protocol came out, when it first came out, it wasn't like everyone just grabbed it and was like, let's go. there were other competing protocols that did similar things that you don't hear about now because this one dominated. That situation has occurred with MCP. These other protocols have fallen by the wayside. There is a dominant winner, and we're like, well, we are just another protocol at the moment. We carry many of the same innards as MCP. We are compatible with it, and so we need to shift to it so that we get the uptick, the uplift, and the stabilization, the ecosystem integration. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, and that's an essential kind of foundational block. Just to, and apologies if you remember when we were talking about this, but essentially it's an AI wrapped piece of code or data. And it exposes a common interface so that it can talk, and this is the really important part. It can talk to other NCP servers. So you've got now a Lego block of AI.
That's what the design of the plugs in the Lego block. That's what this is. It is apparent now. We are very close to it by design. We are very close, but we're not exact. We need to be exact.
Yeah. Now, if we can trace back to what we're talking about in terms of SEC compliance and so on, if you have NCP, not only can you do a lot of probably all of the tasks that we've got in the hopper of potential clients, but you can also create entities, legal entities that have this kind of real world presence in terms of liability that can be spun up like a server. So you spin one of these entities up, and you can get funding from it without going into without falling foul of security laws because of the change of law a couple of weeks ago in the US, and that allows, or that enables, what we're trying to do with attribution, which I don't know if we want to go into that. That's a whole rabbit hole there.
Right, but the question was, how can Marla help, and how do we go faster?
I would like, and I've Marla, you know, I've refrained from doing this because every time I start to talk about Dreamcatcher, it's like that's not on topic. What they really want is a point solution just now, and so on. But there is a bigger thing.
I think Dreamcatcher I think Dreamcatcher has a place. Problem has been that, and this is just from my issue for selling AI, just AI as a concept, has been that people, it's a bit like the new internet, everybody knows that they should use it, don't know how to use it, don't have a clue of where to start, okay? And when you start talking about Dreamcatcher, that's a step beyond what they're doing. But I think once we've created the first product, so our last project that we handed over yesterday, we started talking to them about Dreamcatcher now, they'd go, oh, that's a good idea. But you can't go in with Dreamcatcher.
No.
It's there, and I think it needs to be there, and it's something that I think as we get more and more jobs over the line, it will suddenly come into its own. And then one day, the things that we're doing that people think, oh, God, this is fabulous, you've done this for me, will become normal. And at that point, Dreamcatcher will really be the thing that takes us over the line, if you like, and makes us different. Because the one thing, I had a conversation yesterday with the gentleman who commissioned us, if you like, after we'd presented. And he said to us, it says, so that blew my mind. It really blew my mind. We thought we needed help, but actually what was done was absolutely amazing. We couldn't believe it.
It was actually a bit shabby.
And but but compared to what they were doing, it's fabulous,
Yeah, it got a lot
It's
better
like somebody
overnight.
can,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's one of those things. You can crochet a little square, but can you can you knit a jacket? Or can you crochet a whole jacket? Yeah, if you can crochet a jacket, doesn't matter how tatty it is. It's fulfilling the job. You can refine it afterwards. Yeah, so it's a bit like that. So they were basically crocheting squares. Uh, but one of the things he said was, I said, look, we really liked it. And he says, what I do know is I got it at bargain basement prices, and thank you so much because we don't have the money at the moment. We're a startup. But he says it's worth what the figure he gave me was 6 times what we charged them. I mean, admittedly, we'd halved the cost from what we thought. But what we were providing, because you've just heard Malcolm say, Malcolm thinks what he did was shabby, but it's the value that we're giving to someone else is not shabby.
Very true.
It can be touched up, but it's not shabby. And what we think we're worth is because we're enjoying this so much that we don't actually put a value on it. But values need to be put on things. And when, look, what I would like to do, and this is a very odd thing, is I want my monthly costs coming in every month and it's just there. Then we can go and have fun. Yeah. Don't want to be working. And I think, Malcolm, you're the same, aren't you?
I
It's
just want
like,
to keep
let's
on
get,
without anyone bothering me about things like bills. Yeah.
yeah, but what I'm saying is you
I'll
get the
still be doing
money
the
in
same
every,
thing. Just I don't want to be
but
worrying.
you don't, yeah, you don't want to be worrying. It's all out of the way, and now let's go and have fun with what we're doing. And a lot of times that's very difficult. And I said, look, we like doing it. It's not exactly about the money. And he was shocked. He was actually surprised. He says, well, it's about the money for me. I said, yes, we still want the money, but the project was a fabulous, fascinating project. And that is what we want to do. But people will constantly think about, oh, what do I get back from this? That's just human nature. Now, what Dreamcatcher does for a lot of people is say, okay, yeah, we paid you, and we paid you a lot of money to do this, but we can recoup some of this, or it can be improved on, and we don't have to spend the extra money improving on it, or it's out there. And they will start to understand once they've got everything in front of them. But until they can see what's in front of them, they don't understand what they're getting in the first place. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. So what's happening?
Oh.
What are you guys trying to do? Like, what? Sorry, what? What's going on?
No. I'm just looking at that. It has a browsing tool.
Yeah. Well, so every time you see it, it's trying to search there, but I think it's just got an error with its browsing tool. So, I think if there was ever a company under significant load, it would be these guys today with this model. So I can kind of I can understand.
I would not want to work for these guys right now.
Right now, no. But
Yeah.
so what you're saying, like, are you guys going out trying to get like contract jobbing type of things going? Not, I don't mean to be to box it like
No,
that.
well,
But
bottom line, yes.
okay,
Yeah,
and
we're looking
and
for. There's a couple things we're looking primarily for networking into the really interesting stuff like East Africa, and and I'll not mention it. Are we still recording? Yeah,
we are still recording. Yes.
Okay. So there was a reference given, a very glowing reference given from what we did yesterday to another party. So building the hopper while getting stuff over the line because cash is nice. Marla, would you agree with that? Rather obfuscated.
My microphone went off. Could you just say it again?
Yeah, I was saying there's two things that are happening. It's like let's prove ourselves and prove our, what we think that can be delivered, which yesterday I think we did. There is, more importantly, I think, the networking effect, which what we did yesterday has got us another lead, a really quite interesting lead, which is kind of really juicy. We've got what we're doing in East Africa, which again is networking, which is all down to you. I haven't done any networking. And it would be nice at some point to get some cash quite quickly, would be nice. But the networking piece is really kind of testing ourselves and testing the appetite.
It is, and what we are going at looking for contracts, but basically we're trying to prove to people that they need more than products. And the ones who have come to us really understand it. So one of the things that, I mean, you talked about what we can do. I mean, I'm over August, there's a couple of things that I hope come on, but one thing that I'm definitely doing with, unfortunately, it's with family, is trying to consolidate various parts of a business. And people don't think that can be done, so the financial with the operational, with the people, with just making sure that everything is working seamlessly, and we're ensuring full transparency in a business. And what's happening in most businesses at the moment is they're trying to solve little problems, but there is no transparency within the businesses to see.
Yeah, hang on a second. That's super interesting. So what I can do with that is we can attempt to online different features of the platform in a different order, where that order favors some things that you have lined up. So like turning on the transparency feature is easier than turning on the decentralized robot controlled company feature. Right?
Okay. So yeah, that might be useful, but
like, I guess to
explain it, maybe worth us having a full conversation about that offline, off camera.
Yeah. So if we can get down to a feature set, if we can, like, I mean, there's two unstable problems happening here. You guys are finding, first of all, you're like discovering new leads and new opportunities every day and finding new things that you didn't know about ahead of time, so you couldn't really declare them. And also the features you want change based on how that pipeline changes, which is luck driven, opportunity driven, environment driven, as different things change and whatever. So that's unstable. Then we've got my work on the platform is unstable because I'm trying to figure out my way through a very new type of industry. And so how the features land is sort of a little bit fuzzy. I don't have them all laid out in a list because they affect each other in different ways. And so somehow or other, we need to say, well, this feature is low hanging. Your feature you need for these opportunities is low hanging. Why don't we focus on that first? So like, I am not without steering. I can steer, but I think that it is an economically bad choice for me to make to not be trying to land at that spot. I should be making the software that lands us at that spot of the SEC compliant autonomous company. Unless you guys convince me otherwise, I'm like, that seems like the unlock for just kind of everything. I am open to debate about it, very much so. But
so, Marla, I would love your third party view on this one, because the features are, let's get a repo up and that agent creating agent thing. And with that, it would have, the thing that we just did over the last 2 weeks, it would probably taken me 2 days. Just because I was having to juggle, tabs and.
So if you could do that for 2 days, could you still sell it at the same price?
Yeah. Well, actually, you
or
could sell
six
that
six
six
times
times the
more?
price. 6 times the price.
Yeah.
So the fair market
So
value of that
so
work is still like the types of leads you've got. The fair market value is still going to be paid regardless of, it doesn't really matter how much time was
Yeah.
spent. It's about the value delivered.
it's our expertise. So the difference is this, is that the people who are doing it have been trying to do it now for 6 months
Ouch.
and not got anywhere.
Well, I suppose we
Where
can't talk, can we?
that
But still, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but they're not probably trying to do things as complicated as you, but it's not uncomplicated, but it's
Well, they're pretty
something
smart
that
as well. They're
Malcolm,
smart.
yeah, they're smart, but they what Malcolm did in 2 weeks. So the value he brought to them, and this is the other value he brought, they had to get this in front of their client, and they would have lost the client if we hadn't done what we've done.
Oh, I see.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, they
Right.
had 2 weeks because the client needed to see this happening. I suspect they had three, but you know, it's like
Yeah.
everything, they cut it down. But whatever, they had this deadline. They knew that they'd spent a long time doing this and they weren't getting any further forward, and they
Mm.
were suddenly going to lose this.
So you
What
made
we've done is help them
progress on
help them
something
take
that
it.
they'd been going at for 6 months. You made meaningful progress on that in 2 weeks. Is that what I understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a value.
That's pretty good.
That's a value thing, and this is what we're doing is, what is the value of some of the stuff we're doing. So one of the things that we're doing at the moment, which could save this company not a little bit but millions, could stop it going towards disaster and turn it around and go back to being a hugely profitable company. That's in millions, not in hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Right. So is that site that I put up for you guys on dreamcatcher.ai, that was what you used to do this 2 week thing, but
That's Malcolm's. I didn't do anything on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It could have been reduced to. Oh, 1 second. There we go.
so if
Hang on.
what am I trying to ask here? If the value that you're providing is expertise, it's not bundled up as a deliverable piece of software, is that right?
Yeah, it's not product.
It is the kind of a combination, but the end of the result is they're not saying to us, I need this piece of software. What they're saying
Right.
to us is, I need you to do this.
I need to
stuck.
know
So
how
it's
to do
an
this.
outcome. Yeah, it's an
they're
outcome,
stuck.
not a. It's not. It's not a product. It's, I want this outcome.
Okay.
So we are delivering outcomes,
Okay.
and that is what's important.
Okay.
There's,
So
yeah.
so what? So how do we figure out what can deliver outcomes better from the list of things that I have to do anyway to get to that SEC point? Is that the right way to think about this?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. This is over to you, Malcolm.
Yeah. So we've got our our hopper is heaving. You know, from yesterday, we've got another referral. You've generated a huge bunch of really very well qualified leads.
Where is the hopper stored, and can I see it somehow?
Yeah, it's kind
that's
of
the
like
CRM.
yeah.
We don't have it.
That's the
we
bit
do,
that I've been asking for.
Oh, that's what you want?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
'cause our
want to
mum
be
is
able to look
scattered.
at the offer properly. At the moment, it's just in Google Drive.
No, it's in your head. But the
That too, it's also in my head.
yeah, the thing I would say, and this is not going to be a surprise to you, Tom. If we can get a kind of cursor-like repo-based LLM on the multi-model Dreamcatcher AI, that would
And which
unlock
doesn't
a
require
huge
me
amount.
to do what Tesla did.
Yeah,
A multi-model cursor-like.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, what's wrong with using cursor right now?
Because I'm
It's
hooked, I hate it.
Oh, you don't like it?
yeah.
I mean,
I
I don't like it either. I don't like it either, just to be clear. But
No, I'd rather just use my Google Drive and keep it in there.
so if I
I know that
copied
sounds
if I
awful, and
copied that cursor thing and just basically gave you an agent that could roam over your files,
Yeah.
that'd
and I
be it.
didn't have to turn everything into MD.
Oh, you don't like the MD? Oh, that's fine. What do you
Well, no, it's really difficult. The reason I say this is because adding, say, on ChatGPT or anything, just
Yeah.
adding a file and we get the transcript. It goes into Google Drive, and actually it's probably still at the moment okay for us to keep using Google Drive, but to get that to go in and then have to change it to MD every time. Being able
Right,
to
but
perhaps put videos
why
in,
can't you just use ChatGPT with the Google Drive connector and then ChatGPT can?
which is what I do, which is what I do, which is why I don't use Cursor.
It's the stash thing.
What am
so,
I feel like I don't understand the feature you're asking for. Like, the models can access Google Drive, and Cursor can access MD files. What is the thing you're asking for?
thing.
Well, at the
is-
moment, yeah.
Sorry.
You
Go ahead.
say. You say it. No, please,
Um,
because you probably will explain it better than I can.
It's there are multiple threads, and happy through a thread saying, "Yeah, that's good. Let's stash that." And from another thread, okay, that's good.
So you
let's
want
stash
to turn
Yeah.
the information content of a particular conversation into a document and then talk about it.
that. Yes. Yep.
Is that right, Mela?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
You didn't
that
sound so confident there.
You know what? Yeah, but some of it is because you're using all this lovely geek language, which is fine, and I'm trying to work my way through that and go, this is
nah,
what they mean.
yeah, I just want
By
to.
stash, by stash, I was meaning if you're talking. So let's take the thing that we did yesterday. What it was doing was
Yeah.
running multiple threads with the same sysprompt and the same set of prompts, because there's the sysprompt and then there's a number of prompts in order to get it in place. And maybe I would have to come back and nudge, and it's like, yep, that's right, okay, but we're doing, you remember the diagram? We're doing 4 in parallel. So let's stash the end result to each of those, and now I want that as an object which I can talk to. And all of that still being doing by cut and paste. So being able to stash that, and then, okay, let's open a new thread, and let's switch the models, and want to try that with the next layer. It's like, I'm going to try that with 3 different models, and I want those 3 different
can
models
I-
to talk to another one.
Can I have a
It's
go?
agent to agent.
Yeah,
Sorry?
that sounds more complicated than the thing you were trying to simplify there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Probably.
Is it suffice to say that?
Guys, that's about 2 minutes, just to let you know.
Okay. Is it suffice to say that you want to be able to have conversations about your previous conversations?
That too, and also what I'd like to do is you remember what Trello did? You know, you had all your funnel, so you had, like you said, you have your hopper.
Like a pipeline. You want to have an actual pipeline.
I want the whole pipeline, and we've got tons in that pipeline. So I move it around to archive and move it down the chain. If that can be automatically, the conversations move, so now you need to move to the next section. So everybody that we're doing a build for is here. Everybody who we're still talking to.
So a
just,
mixture of a mixture of leads, sales, and project management pipeline.
Some we're still negotiating with, some we've done the job for, some we're about to start doing jobs for.
So that's really the backbone structure that you want, and then we can decorate it with all the fancy bits like draft an email following up on this thing or chase up this bit. But really the fundamental thing is workflow, like
Yes.
right? And it's fat at one end where it's all prospecting, and it comes down and down and down, and it's really just a
and
Yeah.
context,
Yeah.
context memory as well.
yeah.
So-
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look.
So I'm going to have to depart.
No worries.
But,
Thank you very much for coming on. I think we need to talk some
no,
more.
it's been lovely. I'm quite happy to join you in the mornings if you need me towards the end after you've done your really lovely bits.
You
But,
sound like the person that needs the
yeah.
features.
Yes.
Yeah, I probably am the person who needs the features, and I'm the person who talks to people who need the features.
Yeah.
Malcolm creates, and he has a very good understanding of it, and he picks it up really well, and it's just fabulous watching him. But I'm the one pretending I know everything, and I
Yeah, I think
don't
we call
a lot
it
of time.
a key customer. A key customer.
Key customer.
Yeah, and just talking about key customers, you have a WhatsApp, please, Mr. Malcolm, that you have to answer.
Do I?
See, that's
okay.
my job. That's my job, Tom. Keeping on the straight and narrow and saying, do it.
That should be a machine.
Doing that.
Yeah.
Malcolm.
It should be a machine that cuts off his tokens unless he answers it.
Or switches off
That
my
kind of thing.
electricity. Yeah.
His food,
Yes,
yeah.
a bit like that.
Turns off the
Like,
heating.
answer your
Okay.
phone, read my WhatsApps. But hey, Tom, lovely to talk to you, and maybe we
Likewise.
can do this next week again.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
And all right then, bye.
See you later.
See ya. She's really valuable.
Yep. We need to. What she's talking about is not infeasible, and it's not deviating from the main line either. She's simply asking for some bare basic information processing stuff.
Yeah. Now I've been translating that as let's get a repo up. Let's get a way to stash something from a thread into a repo, and then be able to combine those and then put them to another thread.
Yeah, I guess because the one of the holdups with the MCP conversion is that there's not a good mapping for a whole repo, because the MCP servers deal in traditional style server files, which they're not anchored in a commit. And so I got to find a way around that. And so if from what she's asking, she's not really asking for a repo. She's happy with just today's files, and she doesn't want to concern herself with alternate versions and commits and forks and branches and all that. So that might be easier to hide or not implement the full repo related functions and just work with, these are the files right now. You don't have any history, sorry.
That's really interesting. Actually, you might be right there.
Because what she's asking for is, she doesn't really give two hoots about provenance or functions on a battlefield. She cares about, like, I got some notes, which, not to be disrespectful, they sound very unstructured. That's fine. And she wants to have that processed by someone, not her.
Yeah.
Right. But the key thing she wants is this spine, or this backbone, this pipeline. She wants the data to be I can't quite grasp the right word for it, but it's like a conveyor belt that is being mechanically excited and moved forwards by bots. Like the bots are trying to, the system goal is a fleet of bots with different specialities that are all trying to move the package down the line. And it's like this whole system is just about pushing those units, gathering them from just ether and steam and gas and turning them into solid chunky things and lumping them down the line before they finally go out the door and invoice paid. So That's a
Yeah.
that's not just a little tiny jitter. That's like a system design. Like that's not a thing that you can just have a bunch of folders and files and get it done. You need a little bit more to it. You need a lot more to it, I think. It can still be done in files and folders, but you need these like layers on top that are like agents that are gold to do a thing.
Yes. Let me think about that. You're right in what Marla needs is not anything to do with sovereignty or provenance.
She's not asking for repos. You're asking me for repos. I want
Right.
repos, and we're having repos, but she's not asking for repos. She's asking
No.
for mutable files.
Yeah.
She's also asking for emails.
She's wanting. I think she's. She was asking for the ability to just ask a system, right at the user level, ask a system, and the system knows what's happened.
Yeah, but that's giving her what she wants. What she needs is a system that knows what it's supposed to do and tried its best to do it and got to a point where it needs her intervention.
Yes.
That's not her asking the system. That's the system asking her and saying, "Look,
that's the magic bit, isn't it?"
Well, it's the proactive bit. It's the helpful bit. It's the bit that I'm mad that like I wake up in the morning and ChatGPT still looks the same as how it was when I left it. Right?
I know, it's sitting there. It's a blinking cursor.
It's not even blinking. It's just sitting there. and you know, like I admit the irony, you know, living with a small child and now actually respecting the luxury of what it means to put something down in the night and then get up in the morning and it's still there in the same spot and same condition. Like that's actually quite a precious thing, but I don't want that from an AI, an artificially intelligent system. It'd be like if it was a person that worked with us or for us and they had been awake all night sitting there and had done nothing, and I'm like, what did you do? Yeah, and they're like, well, I was waiting for you. And I'm like, well, like what? It's like, don't do that. Here's a list of tasks to do.
Yeah.
But that's really what she's asking for. She's asking for each prospect to be almost turned into an agent or turned into a bot or attached to a bot, and the bot is trying its best to move it through the system.
Mm-hmm.
And it's triggering things, it's asking for things, and then her view on that system is collating all of those individual things and prioritizing them. Because if you've got like 1,000 leads and all the bots are like, we need another contact, she doesn't want 1,000 requests. She wants like, well, what's the most useful one? What's the most likely one? You know, what's good for us?
Sounds like that simple question. What should I do next?
What should I do next? Yeah, and I don't want the system to ask me that. The system should be telling me that. Mm-hmm. And moreover, you and I should be able to go in that same system. Like we should be in that system too. Like why is the Dreamcatcher not actually in that pipe? Why does that pipe only have to deal with things that are leads and prospects for you guys? It could deal with many things. Why not have them all in there? So us being able to coordinate, like my fear is that I have never seen you use a collaborative system for long. I suspect Marla's similar.
I hate collaborative systems.
I know that. You don't need to tell me that. I know that. Yeah. I know that. Which is, I'm trying to make you a collaborative system, and I appreciate the futility that may ultimately be. But it's at some point, you guys got to have a system that communicates. You don't have to use the same system, but your systems need to communicate. You have WhatsApp, you have emails. I don't know if she's ever sent you an email. She probably sent it to you and then WhatsApped you about the email, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and then called me about why have you not read my WhatsApp.
Yeah, which sucks for her, you know, but we're not going to get very far if we have these fantastic fucking systems that we're all just using in isolation and then ignoring each other's WhatsApp messages about it, right? Like the system, the system should be telling us. Now, I may be able to trigger it. Like I'm like, hey, what happened with that thing? And then it's like, blah, 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 blah. Ah, Scott is holding that up. Hey. And then it's on to you about it.
Precisely.
Right?
Because noise comes from many to many. It's like Twitter, right?
I would say noise comes from any to me. That's my experience of it. But so really, like, what we want is we want a system where we configure it to how we like it. We're each using it in our own special way. You know, she's got files, we got repos. You know, you've got text documents, I have code, whatever. But it knows about us as individuals, and it knows that we are loosely collaborating, and it lets us not talk to each other about things that the machine should be taking care of. They're not tasks, because tasks I think sort of connotates that a human gave it to you, or your boss gave it to you, or you gave it to you. Yeah. It's more like the machine has worked out that the inevitable next step, the best next step for you, like it or not, and here's the reasons why, is this one. If you, disobedient human, don't want to do that, then this is the next logical thing. If you don't do the things the machine says, I think that makes you an idiot. Because at some point, like option number 5, it's like none of these other options make any logical sense. If you do them, you're behaving suboptimally.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
It's not to over-index on the name. It's being prompted. It's like, hey, you really should be doing this next, and here's why. But the interesting thing with it is a single source.
It's a single, it's like a single, it's single delegator. But it's also reasonable, because it could tell me to do something, and I'm like, no, I don't like that because blah, 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 blah. Or it could even be like, I don't like that because I hate talking to real humans. And it's like, well, look, I can help you with that, or maybe this is better going off to this other person, or look, I found this person in El Salvador that's a real person, sounds pretty good, and they'll do that for you.
Like a couple bucks.
Yeah. For a couple bucks, right? Have you got a couple bucks? I know you do, because I got your bank account here. Do you want to just click the OK button?
Yeah. I think you're right in that maybe we've been over-indexing on the repo thing.
The repos have to be there because I built the system like that.
Yeah, I mean they are important. I do not.
They don't need to be surfaced though. Like
let's not go repo.
No,
Marla doesn't need a repo.
Yeah. So, but what does Marla need, right? And so, hold on a second. So I think what we're talking about, dear God, so we'd all have an interface like this, right? Like she seems to have sort of taken to this interface, or she at least didn't kick it.
No, she loves it. I think she's quite tolerant of it because, well, you know as well as I do. It's like there's bits that doesn't do anything, but
there's loads that doesn't do anything. Okay, so
this is her go-to everyday tool now.
Oh, this is her daily driver.
Yeah.
Why is it? Okay, all right. Well, let's ignore the fact that this is a prototype, and I was like, "Hey, here's a prototype. Check it out." And now there's people using it on the daily. Let's
been
just
very careful to say, do not hand this out to anyone else. So it's just Marla.
Well, I mean, You could hand it out to anyone you like, just so long as they know that I am taking no responsibility for their data, and they
Yeah,
might come
no,
in one day and it's just not there, and I'm like,
no. I was bitten with Hal because Hal went a little bit viral until you know. Well, we still don't know. I don't know if Hal's still up actually,
"Yeah, it's still
but
up actually." So what we would have then is, I mean, you used it a little bit, and you were just saying like, if it had the features you want, you could use this, and don't
yeah,
lead me down the garden path here. Like, am I gonna build some stuff for you, and then every like couple of days find you've wandered off to some other tool?
no,
Like,
no, no, no.
can you
The
see
stuff for the
yourself
last couple of
working
weeks.
in?
Yeah, I mean, just look at the token burn. I was
That's right. I know when
last
you turn up because the credit card runs out.
the this is the thing I was going to.
Okay, so all right, so the angle I'm heading at is that Marla's coming here, I'm coming here, you're coming here. We are on each other's contact lists.
Yeah,
We share some files,
yeah,
or we share some MCP servers with each other,
yeah.
and we are doing our own thing, but also some assistants are mentioning to us, some bots are talking to us about things that we need to do and why, and that's having an impact on the others, right? Like, so whatever I discover or learn, your AI system is aware of it and may take action, um, corollary action that involves you.
Yeah.
Uh, and where are we talking about setting up in effect an agent, by our definition of agent, that represents the sales pipeline / work effort, and we're all in a group chat in a combination of private chats with that agent, and it's telling us what
Yeah.
we should do and suggesting and asking questions and all that, and that it's also managing the files, it's storing stuff. Is that
Managing
it?
files, I think, is the big thing, or data management. So
Well, it's the
what?
project manager, right?
Yeah, the major pain in the arse over the last couple of weeks is I was asking in parallel different models to do the same thing with the previous context, and the you go to the files and yeah, I was a bit sloppy with the file naming and so on. So I had a whole bunch of files which were named identically, even though there were different files. There was very little I could do in terms of managing what I'd done previously in order to do what was next.
Say the last bit
So
again. There was,
at the moment, if you click on the folders, you
yeah,
get like a whole bunch of, it's a flat list, right?
yeah.
Um, flat list is not very useful when you're trying to do parallel tasks, because you end
Yeah,
up with
but so what? So I can make you a folder structure. What happens then?
well, the folder structure would be the place to stash things. It's like, okay, so I've kicked off uh, um, four threads, different models, same input, different outputs. So
Right.
I want somewhere to stash those,
You
and
want to
then
stash them in like,
and
when you say stash, what is stash? Is like they're already saved on the disk. Why is that not stashing?
because we at that point I want to go back in and take all four outputs into three new threads
Right.
individually.
How did we
Um,
go from 4 to 3?
well, let me send you something actually. Hold on a second.
Can you finish this thread, please?
Yeah, I was going to send you the diagram.
No,
Um,
I'm nearly there.
so the I've got a bunch of inputs.
Yep.
I'm doing 4 in parallel.
Yep.
Each output of those 4 in aggregate is put into 3 other parallel threads, and then each output from those 3 threads is put into 1. And that was
And output means like a document as opposed to the contents of the chat.
yes. It was largely, not completely, but it's largely the last output of the chat.
All right, so you worked and worked and worked. You came to a conclusion. There was some number of conclusions that came out in parallel.
Yep.
And you then wanted to take those, do some further processing to produce another set of outputs.
Yeah. Yep.
And so where does stashing fit into that? Because all I see that as is you had 3 chats. You then started a new chat where each previous chat just attached or pointed to its respective chat that it was going to use as a subject, as context that was attached to it.
Right.
Right.
That's exactly it. But,
yeah, and so I'm like, well, what's stashing in that world?
Stashing is a vague term.
So stashing, I think when you say stash, what you really mean is you want to attach it to the next thread. You don't really care what happened. You're like, I did it. I talked to this thing. Now I want to do a new talk, and I want to attach the old talk.
Yes.
Yeah. So stashing's kind of evaporates in that term, in that world, right?
Stashing is, I guess, what's meaning by stashing is temporarily, right? We're halfway through the problem here, and we've got combinatorial explosion because we're doing, 4 different threads, and then each of those 4 threads go into 3 different threads, and very quickly it's get difficult to do with copy and paste. And so stashing is kind of caching, I guess. Well, it's not even caching.
No, it's you want to attach it.
Passing the because they never go through.
You want to pass. That's I think that's what's fucking me up. Like you go stash, and I'm like, stash to me is stop. Stash is.
No.
That's what stash means. That's what stash means. You mean pass.
Yes. Because I never go back to an intermediate step. So long as I can recreate it, I don't care. I mean,
you mean pass or carry or attach or paste.
So it's like I've made a decision. So say, if you imagine, you've got an input that goes into 4 parallel threads, and then it's like I look at each thread and going, okay. Each thread.
Okay. So you don't stashes. You're actually misusing the word. You mean pass.
Yeah. Because no, I think you're probably right. I do apologize. The problem was the reason it took 2 weeks to do this thing was largely I was going each step, and it's like, okay, right, this part of this thread, and it might not be the last one. So it's not the whole thread.
So let me guess. What was happening was you had to copy and paste it to put it into the other one, and you called it stash because you had to stash the output somewhere so that you could copy paste it into the next one, right?
Precisely. Yeah.
So you named it after a workflow step that you hope to disappear.
Yeah. Exactly. An intermediary output that is good enough that I've identified and I want to pass on to the next step in the process.
Okay, all right. So I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. So that would be fulfilled with our design of having the chats be files, everything's files, and then you can select them either manually or using a bot to sort of know what you're dealing with. But the thing I'm just trying to clarify is I don't want to make individual tools for us each to do things with. We need to not so much master, but at least begin collaboration. And in our universe, let's call it, I think collaboration between the three of us looks like an agent that is the project manager of whatever we all decide it should be, whatever its motives are, and then it is the one that decides or has an opinion on what is the best thing for each of us to do at each point in time based on all the information that it can see. And it continually loops to try and work that out. And anytime new information comes in, it updates what it thinks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. And we've been doing this in an analog version for years now. You know, remember when it's like we need to resync because what you're doing doesn't seem to be in tune with what I'm doing.
Yeah. So in a typical little project, there's no project manager because everyone tries to do a little bit of it themselves, right?
Yeah.
And so we would have an official project manager that was a bot.
Well, yes, I agree. But I'll go one step up in complexity. In a simplistic project, the outputs are basically known. It's like, let's build a fire. You go get the wood. I'll go and find some matches. You make the fire pit. Done. Fine. But in any kind of project that discovers stuff, then there's a syncing problem.
Right, because the discovery changes what you think you're doing next, right?
Right.
It's a very, what's the word for that? Like, it's a very, like it's unknowable. Your path is unknowable at the start, but you know it at each step. Like
right,
it's...
Which is why, you know, our syncing thing is like,
yeah,
hey,
it's a very unstable. It's an unstable arc. It's unpredictable. It's not deterministic. Okay, so that's great. Because if we did that, then that project manager is only a few steps away from being a company manager. Because like, what's really... What's really the difference?
Project. Yeah. I mean, the only difference is a project has an ending, hypothetically.
Not necessarily. How many projects have you been on that have ended?
A company is an ongoing. A company isn't like a project without an end goal.
That's not true. Companies can be set up with a defined end goal.
They can be, but that's a subset.
And, you know, maybe they should have an end goal. Maybe part of the problem is that they try to keep limping along or they reinvent themselves. You know, it's like... Yeah. Anyway.
That's an interesting thought.
Well, because companies are hard to set up, it's sort of like buying a hardware server. Once the current use is superseded, you get some new software and you try and repurpose it and get it to do something else. So it is with companies. Because the chassis matters and was costly. But if the chassis is so cheap that you can shut it down by just saying something like shut down company number 579, and then it's like
not
done.
Even a switching cost. It's the setup and tear down cost, isn't it? I mean,
the setup cost. There's like taxes, liabilities. There's all these things. Right. But if we're decentralized, we're like start, stop.
That's
okay,
an interesting thing. I always wondered why Mitsubishi started off making playing cards, and it, in the Second World War, building planes, and now builds cars and ships. It's like, what was the... That's not a project. It's like, you guys are just wandering all over the place.
Yeah.
There's
quite profitably.
Yes. They're following the kind of capital landscape.
Right, like, but they had a vehicle, and it was expensive to start a new one, so they repurposed the old one. But in effect, they were mini projects, each of which had a different character arc, and ultimately ended.
So what's the connection between projects? Is that a project in itself? I don't know. We're getting into this is a rabbit hole, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite interesting, though.
All right, so
Yeah.
So what I'm starting to see is if we keep talking with Marla and just absolutely clarify that making the Dreamcatcher AI thing as it is now, but with an agent that you could talk to, and that's the project manager. That sounds like the ideal chassis or the ideal ergonomics to present the things that she's asking for in there.
I think so, and it's interesting because I'm years into this. It might be that I'm asking for stuff that we want, but is not actually needed.
Yeah, that's what I think has happened a little bit, and that's not wrong. It's just like we got a we got an odd conundrum, right? Like landing as a blockchain is not you don't get a lot of options as to how you land. Like once you've picked your architecture, you're like, that's how it's going to be. Sorry, that's just
Yeah.
it's not very forgiving for, like, how many Byzantine fault tolerant algorithms are there that are tested, proven, and known to work? Well, you know, a small number, right? So you're going to be one of those. But along the way, it's important to, like, I am through with bending the core to fit side quests, but what Marla's asking for, we could meet it directly with bots, but the very next thing she asked for, or that we want, is collaboration, at least at some level.
Yes, absolutely.
And that means agents, surely.
Yes. So here's our thought then. If we treat Marla as our cold customer, as in doesn't come with, years of talking about all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, she also, I don't think she gives a shit. She's like, she knows what she wants. Great.
Yeah.
But she is also asking reactive questions. She's like, she came running along and she hit a wall and she said, I want the wall moved. Do you want a chopper ride? Like, we can, we can do other things.
Yeah. Oh shit! I've just noticed the time. I need to go, man.
Okay, but all right, I'll see you Monday.
See you Monday. Yeah, and